Attention, Rams fans. Hot behind-the-scenes action, stalled negotiations, and decisions that could change the course of the season are shaking the halls of Los Angeles. A defensive star is about to become available, but the Rams are betting big on an unlikely scenario. Meanwhile, a renegade receiver is trying to rebuild his career with emotional messages and promises of redemption. But is there still room for him on a well-oiled and sharp roster? What's behind these two moves that could shape the team's future? Welcome! Show your support for the Rams by getting 100 likes on today's video. The name on everyone's lips in Los Angeles is Trey Hendrickson. The elite pass rusher from the Cincinnati Bengals, who racked up no less than 17.5 sacks last season, has become a target for the Rams to replicate the formula that led the team to the Super Bowl LVI title. And those who think this story is just off-season speculation are mistaken. Sources within the league indicate that Hendrickson's contract situation in Cincinnati is on the verge of collapse. And since the Rams have already proven they can sniff out blood in the water, it's only a matter of time before they act. Hendrickson is 30 years old and, according to ESPN reporter Jeremy Fowler, is demanding a long-term security contract. The problem? The Bengals have a well-known history of avoiding guarantees beyond the first year and contracts filled with immediate bonuses. They have already extended Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but Hendrickson remains in limbo. His patience appears to be running out, and if the Cincinnati team starts the season poorly, which wouldn't be a huge surprise given Burrow's recent injuries and an increasingly competitive AFC, a trade may become inevitable. That's exactly where the Rams come in. Experts predict that it would only take a third-round pick and an extra Day 3 selection to surpass the future compensation the Bengals would receive for losing him in free agency. The cost is reasonable, especially considering the impact a player like Hendrickson could have on a pass rush of a team still searching for its defensive identity after Aaron Donald's retirement. The tactical fit is perfect. Hendrickson is versatile enough to align inside and outside, just as Dante Fowler Jr. and Von Miller successfully did during their brief but impactful stints in LA. It's worth noting that the last time the Rams bet on a veteran pass rusher mid-season, the team lifted the Vince Lombardi trophy. Von Miller, coming from the Broncos in 2021, was a decisive factor in Super Bowl LVI, collapsing the opposing pocket at key moments. The franchise does not hide that it thrives on bold bets, unafraid to spend draft picks if it means immediate success. With a still healthy cap and no future contract ties in play, Hendrickson would be a surgical move on Sean McVay's board. Of course, this is not a decision without risks. Hendrickson would require a quick adaptation to the system, and if there's resistance on the field or behind the scenes, the atmosphere could sour quickly. However, this type of bet is already part of the Rams' DNA. Since Les Snead and McVay arrived, the team has shown a preference for proven players over potential prospects, and recent history proves that this formula works, at least in the short term. The big trump card here could be the Bengals' own desperation. If the season starts poorly, they will have two choices: lose Hendrickson for nothing at the end of the year, or trade him for something useful in the present. The LA front office just needs to be patient and observe. If the scenario unfolds as expected, the move could be made before the trade deadline, and once again position the Rams as contenders in the final stretch of the season. The question hovering over this potential negotiation is not whether Hendrickson has talent. That is undeniable. The real question is whether the Rams are ready to repeat the boldness that marked the franchise's most recent championship win. They have to decide between trusting their current defensive rotation, which so far has proven nothing, or bolstering it with one of the most productive names in the NFL in recent years. If the goal is to truly compete in the NFC, Hendrickson is the type of player who can elevate a mid-tier team to the elite. The window with a healthy Matthew Stafford and still productive Cooper Kupp is closing. And for LA, this may be the last chance to repeat the 2021 script. Playing it safe is not an option. The Rams know this. The fans do too. Now, hold that thought, because the next story is even more unexpected and perhaps more controversial. Get ready for a name that was once a promise, became a joke, and now attempts what many consider impossible: to be reborn in Los Angeles. Chase Claypool is trying to make a comeback. After a whole season away from the NFL, the Canadian wide receiver resurfaced on social media with an emotional speech filled with hope. But what's truly surprising is that his name is being mentioned, albeit timidly, behind the scenes of the Rams. Is there really room for a player with a reputation for immaturity, who has a history of a sharp decline and couldn't even stay healthy with the Bills? Claypool, who turned 27 this week, claims to be in the best physical shape of his life. After being cut during the 2024 training camp in Buffalo due to an injury to his second toe, he spent the last 12 months rehabilitating and training. In a lengthy Instagram post, He said he was stronger, faster, and more ready than ever. According to him, the experience in Buffalo was transformative. He climbed from the 14th option on the depth chart to a starter in practices before the injury, a journey that, for him, proves his dedication and renewed maturity. The problem is that for the Rams, this might mean absolutely nothing. The receiver core is among the most versatile in the league. Puka Nacua exploded as one of the top WRs in the NFC. Tutu Atwell provides depth and speed, Jordan Whittington delivers physicality, and Brennan Presley has been one of the standouts of the OTAs. And of course, there's the Davante Adams factor. The veteran was brought in to be the alpha of the group, someone with a rare combination of technique, physicality, and leadership. In this context, what exactly could Claypool offer? In practice, he would be redundant. His main qualities, size and ability to contest balls in the air, are already represented by other players on the roster. Additionally, his presence would require freeing up a spot currently occupied by promising young players or more tactically valuable pieces. The reality is that Claypool today has no field value for the Rams. His best moment in the NFL happened during his rookie season with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Since then, there have been team changes, injuries, and, most concerning, questions about his professional demeanor. It's important to remember that raw talent has never been a problem for Claypool. The issue has always been what comes along with it: distractions, inconsistency, and at times, a lack of commitment. And for a team like the Rams, which highly values locker room culture, that risk weighs heavily. Even if he is genuinely trying to turn his career around, the timing is not favorable. The current roster is young, disciplined, and has a well-defined offensive hierarchy. The most likely scenario is that, if there is any real interest, it would only be for a tryout during the preseason, a contract without guarantees, like a camp body, to see if anything can be salvaged. Even in that scenario, the chance of Claypool earning a spot among the final 53 is minuscule. He would have to excel in every aspect, physical, technical, and mental, and hope for an injury or a sharp drop in performance among the current WRs. The margin for error is zero. And honestly, history shows that trusting in Claypool is always too risky of a bet. Despite the excitement surrounding his return and the motivational messages, the NFL is a business. And at the moment, he is a marketless asset. It's hard to imagine Sean McVay giving up a young pick with upside or a special teams piece just to give someone who has had multiple opportunities and squandered them a new chance. Claypool's reality might be trying to carve out a spot on a team with less depth or one undergoing a rebuild. Time will tell if he has truly changed. But with the Rams, the chance is minimal. The Rams continue to show that they have not lost their ambition. The potential push for Trey Hendrickson is bold, calculated, and has the potential to be yet another of those genius moves by the franchise. Meanwhile, the name Chase Claypool, despite being exciting in narrative, represents exactly the type of distraction that LA needs to avoid. The formula that worked in 2021, focus, talent, and discipline, has no room for emotional bets. Hendrickson could be the missing piece. Claypool today would be a step backward. Now I want to hear from you, Rams fans. Would you bet a draft pick on Hendrickson, even without a playoff guarantee? And would you give Claypool another chance, or prefer to keep the roster as it is? If you liked the analysis, give it a thumbs up, share your opinion in the comments, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos.